For this video, we're going to create the flyer required for the unit project. As you are most likely aware, for the unit project, you've been asked to create a document solution in a real-world context. In this case, you're a communications assistant, and you're hoping to improve the correspondence at the Shelley Shoes organization. So, in order to complete this document solution, we're going to need to know the parts and the specifications. So while we are here on the Moodle course page and in the project directions page, we can click on flyer. Here we are. We now know that we're going to create a workplace safety seminar flyer, and we're going to advertise this event. So, like any flyer, we want it to be engaging and we want it to be informative. Unlike the research paper and the business letter, this one has more desktop publishing involved, which means that the layout is almost as important as the information in which it contains. Like every document solution, when we create a document, we have got to know two things: the parts and the specifications. Prior to this project, you've created guided practices, exercises, and even assignments. Unlike the guided practices and the exercises, where you are told step by step what to do, instead you're going to take what you've learned and apply it to create the flyer based on the specifications that are provided. You'll notice that there is no guide provided here for this flyer. That's mainly because your document that you will create will look different from everybody else's. Your flyer will not match anyone else's, other than they will have some similar parts and similar specifications. Because one of the things that we know is that when we design the flyer, it should match the brand of the company. We can take a quick look at the logo and see that blue and red, for example, are prominent colors within the Shelley Shoe organization. Yes. So, in short, our flyers will look similar, but not exactly the same. Okay then, so we've looked, we see the specifications, we can keep them open as we're doing it. We're going to apply all of the ideas that are here. You can split the screen. One of the ways that you can do that is to click the restore down there and see that. You can also then download your data files. Here you got the text, slogan, and the picture. Normally we would type the text, but to save us time and energy, we are just going to have that provided for you. But we're going to act as if. Here's the data file which we have downloaded. There we go. We'll position it eventually on the second half of the screen. There we go. Good. Now we're ready to begin. You'll note that the special characters are on so that we can see them. This will be important because the text within the document has properties, but so do the paragraphs. Yes. Okay, so one of the first things that we do with any document once we've got it set up is we do the page setup. Page setup includes any kind of layout and spacing ideas. So one of the things we know about a flyer is that it has to maximize the space. So the first thing we'll do is we'll go to the margins and we'll click layout narrow. You'll notice the other two documents will have different margins based on their needs. Yes, okay, good. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to choose a theme or a color scheme that fits. One of the reasons that we like a theme and a color scheme is it keeps all of our visuals consistent. When you choose a theme, it sets styles and colors and all of those types of things for you. It provides a palette, as it were, of choices that you can use. So when we choose our theme, we want to make a choice that matches the brand. So when we go up to themes, we see we have a whole selection in the gallery. One could use the Office theme or any other combination to make it work. Seeing as that we have a fair bit of blue and red in it, we might want to choose a theme that has blue and red as a primary color in it. Maybe even something that's a little more vibrant. Might match the theme anyway. We're going to choose for this one parallax. Feel free to choose your own. Then we're going to go over to color scheme. We're really liking the colors, where you can go down and pick another sort of variation off of there. One that really works well is the marquee, for example, or the slipstream. We're going to choose the slipstream, nice and bright. So now we can expect these four colors to appear on our flyer. Red isn't there, but we can add red as our own. Remember, the themes are like a palette. This is going to try and keep us consistent. Good. So we've got themes, we've got our colors, we've got our margins. Now we're going to go out and add some more things that apply to the page. So we're going to add a page border. Typically, page borders are in desktop publishing apps. They add engagement and color to it. So we're going to click on the outside to get the entire box. We want a bit bigger width so it stands out. We might want it to be a little different, so we're going to make it dashed. You've got a whole bunch of choices. Just remember that you don't want to do too much and you don't want to do too little. After all, this is the border. Should create some engagement, but it shouldn't draw all of the attention. This is a great time to use that red, our really good highlight accent color. There we are. We have to apply the width again. When you make those changes, 4.5 might be a little big. Let's go 3. It says apply to whole document. We hit OK. Yay, we got a border. Nice. The next thing we know about in terms of layout is, for the most part, all of our document will be centered in a flyer, which is exactly what does not happen in a research paper or business letter. So we're going to go up to Home, and we're going to hit Center. By the way, I'm going to maximize my Word window as I'm working on the document. I've got a nice zoom at 100% so that I can see everything. Good. Now I've got that centered. However, I'll remember from the specifications that I've got a list here that I need left aligned. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here to the exception, highlight it here, and I'm going to choose left aligned. Nice. One of the things that happens here, though, is it seems really out of place with the rest of the document. That's okay. I know I'm going to indent it later, but I'll come back to that. One of the things I also know is that as a list, this will be bulleted. These are the items that are part of the seminar outline. So I'm going to go click here on bullets. Nice. Starting to look a little bit closer to our flyer. Nice. Now we remember from our studies that we've got a headline. It should be big, should capture attention. So let's go and do that. One of the things that we know in a flyer, that text should start at about 18 point. And you're like, Carrie, why? Well, it should be big enough that you can not only see it, but you can scan it. We're not reading small text like in a business letter or in a research paper. Instead, we're seeing it. So there we've got that, and then we're going to go up from there. So workplace safety, a nice value might be something like 36. We're going to bold it because we're going to give it emphasis. Once again, if you bold and italicize and underline everything, then you've actually emphasized nothing. We may want add a little bit of space in front of it so that it's got a little bit of room from the top. Not much. So we're going to go to our line and paragraph spacing. For this one, we're going to add some space before the paragraph. If we do this one, it does the preset option, or we can go into line spacing option. A typical nice value before something like this would be an 18 point. That's the space that's going to happen before that line. There you go. We've got a nice title space going there. We might also want to change it to the accent color. These choices are yours. Made it red. I may want to apply effects here. When I apply an effect, this is really taking on the visual load, so I don't want to go too crazy. I'm going to add the outline. Having, of course, added the outline, I may want to change its color. Not necessarily the outline, but actually the text. It reset it on me. There you go. I've got a nice title that says Workplace Safety. Everyone's job, well, it's kind of almost part of the headline. We want to give it some quality, so we're going to shade it. So up here we've got our paint and our fill bucket, and we're going to choose a nice blue. Now we don't want to go too dark, we don't want to go too light, but we want it to be able to fit and match our color scheme. So, this might be a nice blue right here. Nice. We can even change the color of the text so that it fits within that headline. Yes. As it's part of the headline, we also might want to make it some of the bigger text. Not quite as big as the workplace safety, but let's take it up to a 22. We may even want to bold this one as well. Nice. Here now we've got some other important parts here. We've got the important call to action down here. We may want to blue that as well with the same blue. Give it a nice white. By the way, if I've already chosen the color, if I don't click on the drop down but click on the button itself, it uses the last color. That's kind of handy. In terms of spacing, we may want to add some space before the paragraph. I say we could use the preset on this one. Nice. Starting to fill up the page. It's looking really good. This seminar here, it's the title of what it's about. It's a seminar. We'll give it the nice blue. We've noticed our theme colors are right here. We're going to choose that blue here from our theme. Life is looking good. Now, one of the next things we need to do is insert our picture. So we're going to go up to here, insert picture. This we should also have downloaded. So we go up to our insert menu, go to pictures, this device, we go to downloads, and we find the picture boot repair. Nice, it's fairly big. Notice for our flyer we want to keep it on one page, so we're definitely going to resize this picture. That looks about right. Everything's on one page. Life is good. Now, because we want our picture to stand out, we could add effects. We could clip it. We can do a whole number of things. Feel free. There are all kinds of effects and borders you can do. One of my favorite is a set of styles, which will add effects and borders that work really well. In this case, this is a one that's typically used. That's quite nice. Good. I've got that line going over to the second page. So we're going to continue and make some adjustments. One of the things we'll want to do now is that we've got things on 2 pages. We want to zoom out a little so that we can see our document. Right now, the details of our document are not as important as the layout of our document. So down in the bottom right-hand corner, we're going to change the zoom from 100% to something more like 70. We click on the minus sign, and there, now we can see our document layout. Our next step is to insert the slogan, and we're going to do that at the bottom of the flyer here, where the blank line has been left, just like it was for the picture. So we'll go to insert, just as we did before, pictures, this device. There's our Shelly Shoes slogan, and we hit insert, and we're really nice that we got some nice blues and reds, just like in the slogan. But now we can see that things don't quite fit, so we're going to make some adjustments. One of the adjustments is we're going to go to these details here section here, and we don't need as much spacing. There's info It's not so much to visually scan or see it. It might be something that they have to read. It's important to include. So what we're going to do is we're going to change its line spacing to 1. And then we're going to remove any space before the paragraph. And we can see how that's adjusted things nicely. The other thing we can do is our signature line, which is over here, we can make it smaller text. It's a nice read after. We still want to include it. So we're going to take it down from a size 18 to a 14. Looks good, still doesn't quite fit. That's okay, we still have room to move. With the Shelly Shoes slogan, we can come up, grab one of the left handles, and resize it. And there, we've got a nice looking flyer. The last thing we have to do is we're going to take this section here, this text, and we're going to move it to the middle. We're going to make it all fit appropriately. So we're going to drag it here on the ruler. We're going to make it line up with the picture edge real nicely. There we go. And then we are going to adjust here on the second ruler the parts. So we have some indent on the items here in the bulleted list. So we've got a top. It's got some nice spacing between the bullet and the item. We click off. We're in a nice view at 70% here, so we can see the whole page, which is important for desktop published documents. And there you have it. You have your flyer. It's ready to print and post. The last thing we need to do is just remember to save it using the file name that was specified. We'll want to save it into our folder with all our other assignments to keep everything organized. To do that, we'll go File, Save As, type in the new name. We don't have to type in the .docx, it will do that for us. And we hit Save. And there we go. We are done.